All right, welcome back to the show, everyone. Hope you all are having a good day so far. So I had a request in the comments to check out this video from Cosgrove. First of all, the title is 5 times LeBron James sought revenge. And in the comment, they were saying, like, I know you don't like to make, like, basically, I'm going to paraphrase, but something along the lines of, like, I know you don't like to make, like, positive videos about LeBron James, but considering he is one of the, you know, one of the, I guess we'll call him one of the greats of the game, it would be cool to like show something positive for a change. And I'm like, you know what, it's fair, because I mean, I try to do that in all of my videos. Whenever the video covers something like an era, like the first, let's say, 4 seasons of his career when I was a fan, I always kind of talk about that in a positive light. It's just everything he did after 2010 that I'm like, yeah, I don't really have anything positive to say. So, you know, it is what it is. But I'm always trying to be real. But there were a couple of times, like off the top of my head, the Dylan Brooks thing, where I found myself for the first time going, you know what, LeBron, put him in his place. You know what I mean? Like, and it was a very rare instance that I feel that way. But I do actually. I would like LeBron James a lot more if he did this kind of stuff more often, when, you know, someone calls him out and then he kicks their ass on the court, like the old school way, you know? It's just something I haven't seen very often. But anyways, this Cosgrove video says there's 5 times. I'm very curious to see it. Guys, I'm going to link the original video down below in the description if you want to check it out. You'll also see a list of channel members. Shout out channel members. I appreciate you all. Guys, like the video. Let's get right into this one.
Now, when everybody is coming at you, do you keep your head and perform at the level you do?
For me, I can't worry about what everybody say about me.
You do.
I'm LeBron James from Akron, Ohio, from the inner city. I'm not even supposed to be here. I'm blessed. So what everybody say about me off the court don't matter. I ain't got no words.
I wish that was true. As we know, he literally cares about every little thing that we say because he brings it up on his podcast, but it sounds good.
It's commonly believed that LeBron James does not possess the killer instinct on the basketball court. We all acknowledge that he's an obvious all-time great player, but he's constantly accused of not being an assassin like your MJs or Kobe's of the world. And he doesn't seem to live up to some of his promises when it's time to deliver. But at least it shows that he does have that fire inside him somewhere. It just takes a little bit longer to light it. And you're sadly mistaken if you think he doesn't turn into an absolute beast when pissed off.
Yep.
So here's 5.
I've seen it. I just like, it's cool that Cosgrove starts it out this way, because straight up, I've seen it. I would like to see it more.
Times when LeBron did execute on those vendettas. When LeBron first came into the league, he immediately produced big-time numbers as an 18-year-old, and the list of players who were able to have an immediate impact in the NBA is extremely short. He managed to lead the Cavs to the NBA Finals at the very young age of 22, showing early signs of his greatness. But as the years went by,
I'll give him this. I think he was the best 18-year-old I've ever seen in the NBA. Like, I've never seen anybody like... He fit right in that starting lineup. And I know Cleveland was a terrible team, but he actually he was ahead of the curve, like, mentally, which is the ironic thing, because now he's so behind the curve mentally for his age. But at 18, I felt like he was ahead of the curve. He handled the pressure pretty damn good for an 18-year-old.
He just couldn't capture the trophy, so after yet another disappointing season, he took his talents to South Beach in the summer of 2010 to join up with Wade and Bosch in Miami. And he had the right to do whatever he wanted, but many were not too happy about the way he made his decision. Cavs fans were livid.
And we've supported him for 7 years now, and for him to go on there and drag us through the mud for 7 years and stab us in the heart, he deserves everything he gets. I hope he never wins anything in Miami. He is dead to me.
But perhaps the person most bothered by this was Cavs owner Dan Gilbert. And as soon as he heard that James was out of there, he wrote Cavs fans a letter. Quote, I personally guarantee that the Cleveland Cavaliers will win an NBA championship before the self-titled former king wins one. You can take it to the bank.
Yeah, you blew it there, buddy. Like, I understand. I totally would feel the exact same way as him. But yeah, dude, no. That was a dumb comment because literally LeBron just joined a super team. So it seemed pretty obvious that LeBron was going to win first.
Also, he went on to call James a disloyal coward. And of course, LeBron would never forget what Dan said. And I'm sure his first game back in Cleveland was circled on his calendar way in advance.
I've been around basketball for 25 to 30 years and have never seen an electricity in a building and the intensity in the building for a regular season game. This feels like the NBA Finals right now.
Okay,
yeah. I was wondering where Cosgrove was going with this. Yeah, this game was wild. This was a big FU. And D Wade talks about this game. I've heard Chris Bosh talk about this game, and basically it was like literally the fans were out for blood. Once again, understandably, I understand why they were, but this was like a tense game.
Even if he was wrong for the way he handled his free agency, I can only imagine the kind of things they were yelling at him. It must have hurt a little bit to be treated like that, but he did not let it affect his play.
Hey man, that's going to be my new line, I think, after that conversation I had a little bit ago. You can't play the asshole card and then play the victim card. So he already played the asshole card. He's not a victim in this situation.
Court.
Probably didn't really know what he was stirring up by making that move. James with a beautiful move.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, LeBron lights him up this game.
Joel Anthony has checked in for Miami. Here is James drilling it. Daniel Gibson guarding LeBron James, and LeBron makes it 14 straight points.
The fans would have liked to see their team compete a little bit harder than that, as Miami blew them out, showing just how dangerous the revamped Heat are gonna be for years to come. All season long, LeBron was on a mission to prove that he made the right decision, and when the playoffs came along, he turned up the heat even more, destroying each opponent in 5 games, and even killed 2 birds with 1 stone on his way to the finals. He ran up against the Chicago Bulls in the Eastern Conference Finals, and the feel-good story of the MVP, Derrick Rose. It was said that the MVP snub didn't sit well with LeBron, as he came.
Did you guys ever feel like that was an MVP snub? I never once thought for a second that was a snub. That was Derrick Rose's year, man. Like, there's no question on my part, and that's not just like a diss at LeBron, because in that case it would be a diss to the entire league. I just felt like, man, that was D Rose. It was D Rose time.
Came in 3rd place.
Let's be real, we ain't never seen some stuff like this before, you know? And D Rose came out and shocked all of us that I know of that were watching during that time. All of us, like, whether we liked the Bulls or not, like, we were all just freaking out over D Rose.
The MVP race, which only gave him more fuel to dominate. He led the team in all categories, and on top of that, James played outstanding defense on the so-called MVP all series long, and capped it off with this to seal the victory.
The Miami Heat have come from behind to defeat the Chicago Bulls 83-80.
So all he needed was to win 1 more round to complete his ultimate revenge journey. But unfortunately, that wouldn't happen, as they fell to the Mavericks in 6 games.
All right, shout out to Cosgrove for actually like showing it to completion here.
Dan Gilbert must have been thrilled to see him lose the championship. But last time I checked, he didn't quite hold up his end of the bargain either.
No, he didn't.
The Cavs were nowhere close to competing for a championship, getting the #1 pick instead. And Gilbert definitely did not win the head-to-head battles either. Throughout the 4 years LeBron was in Miami, the Heat faced the Cavs
Victim.
total of 14 times, and James got the W 13 times out of those 14 matchups against his former team.
Damn.
Cleveland almost got lucky enough to steal a 2nd game from the Heat in 2013, but they collapsed in the 2nd half.
LeBron pull up 3. It's good! And Miami has tied the game at 77 with a 37 10 run.
As the Miami Heat captured multiple titles.
Man, it's just one of those. It's so hard to like the guy. You know, I'm trying to be somewhat positive here, but then he does stuff like this. It's just, it's so unlikable.
The Cavs kept finding themselves at the bottom of the league, and even some fans knew it was hopeless without him, practically begging him to come back.
Yeah, 3 by LeBron and an assist to LeBron.
Oh,
Look
crap.
at this. A crazy fan has run out onto the court.
I don't remember this.
He said he missed me and come back, please. And I didn't have much time to say much to him because, you know, the security got to him. But, you know, I patted him on the head.
Eventually, LeBron did return to Cleveland, and the city couldn't have been happier. They knew things got ugly, but this time made sure to show their appreciation for their king. Throughout his postseason career,
That one's always gonna feel so weird to me. Like, once you ditch like that, in the fashion that you ditch, I don't want you back. Like, I'll take anybody but you. It's just weird. It's weird how people are different psychologically.
LeBron has faced multiple teams multiple times, but Boston might have gave him the most fits. 2008 Eastern Conference Finals, the Celtics put together a big three. James and his Cleveland Cavaliers were clearly outmatched, but they still were able to force a Game 7. LeBron and Paul Pierce were going at each other, fighting to stay alive. LeBron got the best of Pierce from an individual standpoint, but Pierce and the Boston Celtics got the victory, closing out the series in Game 7. 2 years later, they would meet again in the 2010 Eastern Conference semifinals, and this time, Cleveland were a much better team than they were previously, claiming the top seed in the East. At one point, the Cavs had a 2-1 lead in the series, but Boston would then...
Yo, did you guys see this pass?
At one point, the Cavs had a 2-1
Bam.
lead in the series, but Boston would then win 2 in a row, putting LeBron in a win-or-go-home situation in Game 6. James would get himself a nice triple-double, but it wasn't enough to win the game, as they were sent home once again, which led to LeBron seeking for more help, so something like this would not happen again.
I don't know. Would you guys consider this like a revenge? Because I would only consider this revenge if he did this while he was on the Cavs, but he went to go team up with like his power buddies and then he won. It's not the same thing, you know? It's like someone kicking your ass every day and then, you know, all of a sudden you get your 5 friends and then the 6 of you go beat the crap out of that guy. You can't really claim revenge. Like, I got you. You didn't really do it. Your buddies did it. I don't know.
And the very first opponent the Miami Big Three faced in the regular season happened to be the Boston Celtics, but yet again, it was more of the same. LeBron and D-Wade lost opening night to the Celtics, just like they both did in the 2010 playoffs individually. It looked like Boston was their kryptonite until the 2011 Eastern Conference semifinals came along. Miami's chemistry was clicking on all cylinders by the time the postseason arrived, and they straight up handed it to the Celtics, destroying them in 5 games. And Boston had no right to complain about LeBron joining up with a stronger squad, or else it would have been very hypocritical on their part. Then, 1 year later in the 2012 playoffs, they once again ran into the Celtics, but this time the stakes were even higher. It was the Eastern Conference Finals. Miami jumped to a 2-0 lead to start things off. Then, the Celtics took the next 2 games. But wait, Boston would win Game 5 as well, placing LeBron in a stressful position that no one wants to be in. Down 3-2, facing elimination. And that kind of pressure was probably the best thing that could have happened, because he delivered one of his best performances in his career, dropping 45 points to force a Game 7, securing a win that was extremely important.
What was my mentality going into Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics? My mentality was like, if we lose, Pat Riley may break us all up, and I don't want that.
May I?
Ultimately, the Heat would prevail in Game 7 as LeBron once again put a beating on the Celtics. And to this day, it looks like that bad blood still exists.
Man, listen, let me say something to you. The C's, we didn't give a fuck about LeBron. We didn't fear LeBron, and we didn't think that he can beat all 5 of us. And that's how it felt.
I'm sorry. Just look at Adam Sandler's smile. I'd be doing the same thing. Like, oh man, say more, man, say more, say more.
Feel LeBron, and we didn't think that he could beat all 5 of us. And that's how it felt.
The Golden State Warriors.
I think that's also the interview or the podcast or whatever, where he's saying that like they broke LeBron. And honestly, I think the Celtics big 3 get the bragging rights in that, because their actions literally caused the rest of the East, the best players in the East, to team up just to take him down. Like, that is some bragging rights right there. Like, the Celtics broke LeBron James. It really happened, you know? He had to join a super team right after that in order to compete with these guys. So I would take that as the bragging right, in my opinion.
Warriors were another team who gave LeBron a hard time.
Okay, here's the thing. Like, I wasn't expecting these stories to be the 5 times of revenge, because now we're getting into Steph. Steph beat him 3 out of 4 times. There are other stories of LeBron James getting revenge that, like, I could actually 100% go, yep, you got him. But these aren't it.
The Golden State Warriors were another team who gave LeBron a hard time. When LeBron returned to Cleveland in 2014, he believed the journey to delivering the Cavaliers a championship would be a smooth ride. But suddenly, out of nowhere, the Warriors were making some noise of their own, and Steph became the talk of the NBA, and LeBron noticed. So in the 2015 NBA Finals, he looked to put a stop to all the Golden State love that was going around. And despite losing Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, he showed that he was still the king of the league. He somehow carried the Cavs to a 2-1 lead in the series, but once Golden State made some adjustments and put Andre Iguodala on LeBron, that was the turning point of the series. Then, just like that, the Warriors went up 3-2, which made LeBron feel like he had to say this.
You feel a lot less pressure this finals run just because you are undermanned?
Nah, I feel confident because I'm the best player in the world. It's simple.
Golden State was looking...
Okay, I don't like his comments there, but I gotta admit, this series was impressive. This was a very impressive series. He lost 2/3 of his, of his big 3 essentially out there, and LeBron was out there balling his ass off. That's the kind of LeBron James I can appreciate. But obviously, take away the press conference where he's being all conceited and shit. But like what he was doing on the court was very impressive during this time. To even compete in this series, I'll give him that one. But I'm not going to pretend like he got the best of Golden State. 3 wins versus 1 win. This is not even a conversation here.
To close out the series in Game 6 on the Cavaliers' home floor. And that's what happened, winning their first title in 40 years. And at the podium, they wanted to remind us who they believe the best player really was.
It just feels good to say, we're the best team in the world with the best player on the world. This man sitting next to my right, so...
Fast forward.
You see the difference now, though? It's different when someone else is saying it for you. But you don't have to say, if you really are the greatest... You don't have to say it yourself. Plenty of other people will say it for you.
For the next season, the Warriors were excited to visit Cleveland for the first time since hoisting the trophy, and Steph couldn't hold it in. Quote, obviously, walking into that locker room, it'll be good memories. Hopefully, it still smells a little bit like champagne.
Damn.
And that comment quickly made its way to the Cavaliers, and they found it very disrespectful for him to say that.
It was, but I love it.
James. When LeBron was answering media questions after a shoot-around, he was kinda surprised that no one asked him his opinion on Curry's champagne comment. Well, maybe they were too scared to ask him, but they did eventually get around to it, and James simply said, I'll have an answer for it. Now, let's jump straight to the 2016
All right.
NBA Finals, where more shots would be fired.
Wait, what happened in that game? I want to know what happened in that game, though. Who won that game? Because this was all building up to a regular season game. Who won that one?
As you know, the Warriors...
Because he said he'd have an answer for it, so I thought the story was going to go like he was going to like blast them for like 40 points in a win or something like that.
Looking more dominant than ever. They were fresh off a record-breaking 73-9 season, and all they needed was the trophy to solidify it.
Oh, I see the angle. Okay, so yeah. they get the revenge by the championship. Dude, I still want to know what happened in that game, though.
73-9 season, and all they needed was the trophy to solidify it. And once they took a commanding 3-1 lead in the series, it basically looked over until Klay Thompson opened his mouth. You see, when Draymond Green got into a little altercation with LeBron in Game 4, LeBron didn't really like what Draymond called him. Quote, "Draymond just said something that I don't agree with. I'm all cool with the competition, but some of the words that came out of his mouth were a little bit overboard."
Damn good thing you didn't play in the 80s and the 90s, bro. You could not handle it.
Ultimately, Draymond would be suspended for Game 5, and that gave the Warriors the feeling that LeBron tried to get Draymond suspended on purpose, just for his benefit, and Klay had to express how he felt.
I mean, I feel the exact same way. That's how... You know, he played victim. Wah, he called me something that I don't like. Deal with it. It's professional sports, bro. You know, like I don't agree with that. Like, you don't tattle in that scenario. You know, you either match the level of trash talk or you ignore the trash talk and let your hooping do the speaking for you. You got those two choices. You don't rat on the guy who's talking shit. Everyone can see it's happening. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one.
And guys talk trash in this league all the time. Yeah. You know, I'm just kind of shocked some guys take it so personal.
Me too. Yeah, that's straight up. This is part of the game.
I've heard a lot of bad things on that court, but at the end of the day, it stays on the court. We're all competitive people. I don't know how the man feels, or people have feelings, and people's feelings get hurt, even if they're called a bad word. I guess his feelings just got hurt.
Yeah, it's like that. It's the only child syndrome that he has. You know, he's got a tattle to his mama. And in this case, mama is the media.
Again, it made its way to LeBron.
What did you say Klay said?
Klay said, I guess he just got his feelings hurt.
Oh, my goodness.
And from that point on, LeBron had enough. Everything built up over time, and the beast was unleashed.
Let's go!
Sparking an incredible 3-1 comeback, LeBron played possessed ever since Klay's comment and delivered Cleveland a title.
Cleveland! This is for you! Ow!
And in the following season, he was the one taking the personal jabs.
Well, how'd that work out?
Klay wasn't the only one.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I know they didn't win any more championships after that. And then, what was it? Whatchamacallit, Golden State won 2 more on their head. So I'm sorry. Once again, I'm surprised by these picks because this one is not the Celtics one. The Celtics own LeBron James more than LeBron James owns the Celtics, and in the Golden State one, Golden State definitely owns LeBron more than he owns Golden State. I mean, we're talking about a 3-1 situation here. Okay. I thought like we were gonna talk about like Dylan Brooks and stuff.
Thought that Steph was the best player in the world at that time. 2016 Eastern Conference Semifinals.
No.
The Toronto Raptors taking on the Miami Heat.
Okay, so we're going LeBronto now. Okay.
It was very competitive throughout the entire series, which led to a Game 7. And when it was all said and done, the Raptors just wanted it more, advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals, pretty much robbing us from an epic battle that would have been D-Wade versus LeBron, but Toronto got the job done. They were set to play the Cavs in the conference finals, and here's what Kyle Lowry had to say about that upcoming matchup.
The Wings is a LeBron James-led team that looks awfully tough to beat. What are you most looking forward to?
Just the opportunity to play against those guys. You know, LeBron's probably one of the best players in the league besides Steph.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I never knew about this. Oh man, that's a good one. That's good.
Okay, even if Steph was the best player momentarily, Lowry should have known that LeBron was probably sitting at home on his couch watching that post-game interview.
All right, to be fair, if I were Lowry was calling out LeBron with that one. He knows what he's doing. So whatever happens is going to happen now. Because if he didn't want to call out LeBron, he would have said straight up, LeBron is one of the greatest players in our league right now, so it's going to be a good matchup, yada, yada, yada. But he goes, except for Steph. That's definitely a jab. All right, man, you get what you get.
So why even bother saying such a thing? Or maybe that was the plan all along.
The bear.
Maybe he wanted LeBron to know that they were not scared at all. Either way, he probably should have just kept that opinion to himself, because ever since that comment, there's been nothing but total domination whenever LeBron goes up against Toronto. The Cavs eliminated the Raptors in 6 games that series. Then, the following year in 2017, the Cavs swept them, and LeBron didn't even take them seriously at all. He was just messing around all series long, spinning the ball in the middle of possessions and jokingly drinking beer during dead balls. But the next year in 2018, Toronto really believed that this was the year they were finally going to knock off Cleveland. But yet again, they were swept, and LeBron was unstoppable, definitely changing their minds on who the best really is.
That guy's pretty good. He's really good. So at the end of the day, you know, like I always say, to be the best, you got to beat the best, and we continuously, the last 3 years, have failed to the team that's made it to the finals the last 3 years.
If we had LeBron on our team too, we would have won.
The Raptors opened
LeBronto. Yeah, this one's fair. I feel like he pretty much owns Toronto the same way like Jordan owned, let's say, Cleveland, you know?
He admitted that LeBron was the reason they couldn't get out of the East.
It's taken a long time to get here in my career, 13 years, 7 years here. I've ran into one guy for a while, and, you know, we were given an opportunity, he left.
We all remember that fadeaway three-pointer LeBron drilled on February 6, 2017. Our jaws dropped to the floor, just like this young lady's did, who just so happens to be Bradley Beal's girlfriend. That shot forced overtime, where the Cavs ultimately won the game. Everyone was talking about this game the very next morning, and even John Wall, who was on the losing side, said this, quote, "LeBron made a heck of a shot that you probably make 1 in a million times, but LeBron didn't see that as praise. He took it as an attack. Quote, not 1 in a million for me, maybe somebody else."
Oh, dude, you don't have to say that. Why you gotta say that? Don't be so insecure, dude. You made the shot. You know, be happy you made the shot. It's cool.
But hold on, things were just getting started. Fast forward to the beginning of the next season. Despite what LeBron did to them earlier that year, the Washington Wizards were confident that they were the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. And those delusions stemmed from the success they had in the previous season. The Wizards made it all the way to Game 7 of the second round in the 2017 playoffs, which somehow made them believe that they took the next step and should now be considered the top team in the East. Here's Beal, quote, "For us, we have all of our pieces. We got our core back together. We've got playoff experience. There's really no excuse for us not to take the next step.
Okay.
I feel like we're the best team in the Eastern Conference." Now, you can say that there was nothing really wrong with Beal's comments.
I see nothing wrong with Bradley Beal's comments, and I am not a big Bradley Beal fan. That's what you want to say. We're the best. You know, I feel like we're the best. You always want to feel like you're the best and say that you're the best. You're never going to go out there and say, yeah, we're pretty good, but these other teams are way better than us. That's not a winner's mentality. You expect to win the game.
But John Wall made things a little more interesting. Wall said that LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers were scared of them, and he felt that the Cavs purposely lost games to avoid a second-round matchup with them.
See, now you're attacking. So Bradley Beal was fine. John Wall, I don't know what you're going off on here. You're literally just poking the bear now.
Quote, "I think if you look at last year, people might say they did or they didn't, but I think they didn't want the #1 seed for a reason, because we would have played them in the second round. I think we just give them the best matchup problems out of any team in the East." So early on in the 2017-18 NBA season, they would get a chance to prove that they really are the best on national television. Going into that game, the Cavs were on a 4-game losing streak and haven't really gelled yet because they had a ton of new guys on the team. And many people questioned why the Cavs looked so uninterested to start the season. But heading into that night, LeBron was more than energized.
Short time. I don't know if he stepped on somebody's. James drives off the glass, a little English, and the Cavaliers with a 9-5 lead.
it was clear that James was out to bully them on their home floor. It was almost too obvious that James wanted to send them a message.
James all the way to the finish.
And by the end of the game, the Wizards were left demoralized as he put up crazy numbers across the board. 57 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks.
Okay, that's a hell of a stat line right there.
At that point...
Yeah, man. See, these are the kind of things that I'm like, yeah. I ain't got nothing bad to say about that. They talked trash, they called you out, they poked a bear, you answered on the court. I like that. I like that with anybody in sports.
LeBron hasn't taken that many shot attempts in over a decade, and I'm pretty sure it was not a coincidence that he went off like that.
And when guys like John Wall or Brad Beal are saying things like, we're the best team in the East, or the Cavs didn't want to play us in the playoffs last year, how much do you think your guys hear that kind of stuff?
We ducked the team that what happened again? They're right, they are the best team in the East.
Nice one. Nice one, Coach.
I love DC. I had to do what I had to do to help us get off this loser streak. I ain't about losing. Y'all know me. You've known me for a long time in this league. I ain't about losing, so.
Alright guys, I hope this video was able to show you that LeBron does have that killer mentality somewhere in him. Leave a comment down below if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Dang. Well, this video did not go like I was expecting, because outside of the Washington thing and the Toronto thing, I'm just not getting it. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm trying to be as fair as possible, but I witnessed all this stuff, and you know, like, I don't think Boston should have been in this video, because Boston, it should be reversed. You know, this is how Boston like crushed LeBron's soul. And then when it comes to what was the other one, Golden State, like, this is the thing that forced okay, Boston can take claim to we forced LeBron out of Cleveland. That's what Boston can do. And then what Golden State can do is say, yeah, we scared him out of Cleveland as well, the second stint. You know what I mean? That's the bragging rights that they get. Well, so I don't feel like that's a LeBron revenge story. I feel like that's a LeBron got beat up and he ran away story. However, the Washington and the Toronto thing, those are legit, dude. Because you know, there's no sugarcoating it. He stepped up. You know what I mean? They called him out. He stepped up, and he got payback for not just a little bit, but he got payback on them for a long time. So that is definitely a revenge story and like an ownership kind of story. You know, LeBron owns your asses. Similar to what we can say about like Jokic and LeBron, you know, like Jokic owns his ass. Anyways, there are certain stories like this that I do enjoy. It's just, you know, knowing all the context, I guess there's less than I thought there were. I was actually kind of looking forward to a video where I can talk a little positive about like his past as an NBA player, but it didn't really go that way. Like I said, the funny thing is when I saw the title of this video, the first thing I thought of was Dillon Brooks. And it's the one thing we didn't get to talk about, because I was actually kind of excited to talk about it, because that's one of those rare times where, even though I don't like LeBron, Dillon Brooks coming out and basically calling him out. You know, all I can think is like, what the hell have you done, Dillon? You know what I mean? Like, if it's one of the legends of the games or one of the greats in the games, you know, and they're critiquing LeBron or saying something like that to poke the bear, you know, try to get a rise out of him, that's one thing. But Dillon Brooks, like, what have you done in order to feel this, you know, this, you feel so empowered that you can call out one of the greatest players who's playing in the game? Like, you don't get that. I don't know, like, that's just not how I was raised. That's not how like my people were raised. You know, you don't call out someone who's better than you. You don't. You know, unless you're ready to back it up somehow and you got some trick, you know, like under your sleeve. But Dillon Brooks not only did not show up, he even like ran away from the press conferences and stuff afterwards. It was a very embarrassing look. you know, and then he was off the team, and it was like a bad look. You know, like you got beat and then you ran away and you hid. Like that story I would have had a field day talking about, because that was straight up. I was having the hope that I was like, LeBron, I don't like you very much, but you need to make a statement here, and it needs to be on the basketball court, not in your words. Don't play victim. Go out there and kick his ass. And he did it. So like, here I am talking about it, even though it wasn't the premise of the video, just because that's really like, you know, you can say the Washington, the Toronto, and then this were 3 times that I was like, yep, you got them. You shut their ass right up, didn't you? You know, would I like there to be more stories like this? Absolutely, absolutely. Because I feel like when we talk about like Jordan or Bird or LeBron, or Kobe, or, you know, there's a handful of guys like this, legends, that there are just unlimited stories about this, and it can be something really small, and then they just go out there and absolutely crush you, you know. But that's what we're talking about when we talk about killer instinct, and LeBron is, he doesn't really have it. It takes a lot in order for him to like summon that, for whatever reason. I'm not sure. Different personalities. But then you got, you know, a guy like those guys that listed Bird, you know, MJ, Kobe, yada yada. Like these guys, it takes very little for them to go like, you know what, I'm gonna shut you up so you don't talk anymore. I don't know. It's just different. Anyways, you guys, can you think of any other circumstances where like LeBron straight up just got revenge? Because I'm having trouble thinking of more right now. But yeah, man, props to what you did in Toronto, claiming it as LeBronto. You did pull that off pretty successfully. And then I didn't know about the Washington beef, so that was kind of cool. Anyways, you guys, let me know what you thought. I will see you all in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this, and most importantly, be water, my friends.